happening, Claire was working so hard to breathe at night that she wasn't growing properly. So even once she had the feeding tube and we were giving her the calories that she needed, she was still struggling to breathe. And sometimes like her heart rate would be very high. It would be as if she was like running a marathon, and she'd be like sweating and she would be sleeping. So that was a whole, other piece to this that we really, and I never had even thought about or knew anything about. And so from there, we discovered that when we were in the hospital, one of the times that the CPAP she seemed to respond well to it, and that it was enough support to not only get her through the nights, but make it so in long term she could grow again and develop appropriately as a baby. So a piece of it for a little while that became a question, and the trach was brought up to us a few times when this past winter it was like she just kept getting respiratory issue, like cold after cold after cold, and we kept coming back into the hospital, and we spent some time in the ICU, and so Dr. Hartnick and his team basically, it was brought up that if she had a trach, we wouldn't have this constant fear that she can't breathe right. And I think that for my husband and I, that was something, when we first heard the word trach, I was, again, second day, I was caught up so off guard and had no idea really that was coming, or that was a possibility of something that would even be considered for what she had going on. So we decided, we will try to do anything in our power for her not to get a trach. Different families feel differently and have different opinions. I think part of it may have to do with the fact that we have Tommy at home, our 2-year-old, trying to figure out how we could possibly manage all of that. And not to say it like that, obviously we would do whatever was best for Claire. We really struggled with the fact that during the day, when she was awake, she was completely fine. So I was like, how do I go ahead and do something so invasive and so intense to my beautiful baby girl, and then put, another hole in her body, if it's not absolutely 100% necessary. So then the idea was that, if the CPAP is supporting her well enough, that we don't have to go there. And then it was kind of brought up like, it might be kind of difficult because then you're tied to this machine, and this thing outside of her is what is supporting her, and all those types of things. And in my head, I would do anything I possibly could. I would walk around with holding that machine all day long if I had to, for it to mean that she didn't need a trach, and that's just how we personally felt about it. And if we got to the point where it wasn't supporting her, and if Dr. Hartnick said we had no choice, obviously we would have done it if that was what was in our best interest. But at that point, we just felt like if we can just get her through this winter, get her through these colds with the CPAP and some oxygen when she needs it. And now in hindsight, I'm so happy that we did make the decision that we did. She's really doing so much better now. And we've managed to support her through that without going that ultimate invasive step.